Okay, so we're kicking off this deep dive today, looking at this really heartwarming photo, right? A big family celebration looks totally perfect on the surface.
Exactly. Pure joy, you might say. Yeah. But our mission here is to peel back the layers a bit.
Right, because the story behind it, it wasn't always so smooth. We've got sources telling us this specific relationship, it was actually salvaged, hard won.
That's the core of it. We're talking about Will Smith and his oldest son, Trey Smith. Their journey, went from some serious friction after the divorce,
Hmm.
Trey feeling abandoned was the word used,
Yeah.
all the way to this restored bond we see now. So this recent party is like a snapshot, a really useful one for understanding what it actually takes to, well, to intentionally repair family ties.
So let's start right there with the present. November 11th, just recently, Trey Smith's 33rd birthday, his mom, Sheree Zampino, shared these pictures, and they really set the scene.
They really do. And what strikes you immediately is just how integrated this whole blended family looks.
Yeah.
I mean, this wasn't just a casual lunch or something. It was a proper intimate dinner, casino theme, apparently.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
decorations?
Yeah. Big novelty dice, cards, even a 2-layer cake with a Las Vegas sign on it. Pretty elaborate.
Okay, so who was actually there? That tells a story, too. Right?
Absolutely. You had Trey, obviously, his dad, Will, Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith,
Uh-huh.
and importantly, Trey's mom, Sheree, was there alongside his half-brother, Jaden.
So everyone together, the ex-wife, the current wife, the kids, that alone speaks volumes.
It really does. Think about the emotional logistics, the history,
Mm-hmm.
getting everyone comfortably in the same room for a celebration like that. That takes serious groundwork over years.
And what about the tone? Cherie's post, you mentioned she shared the photos. What did she say?
Well, it wasn't just, happy birthday. It was quite reflective, quite deep.
Mm-hmm.
She called Trey a magnificent soul, talked about his infectious light,
Mm-mm.
and wished him well for his 33rd year around the sun, calling it a portal into another dimension of brilliance. Really lovely stuff.
That's beautiful. And she ended with something a bit unique. The Ango.
Yeah, the Ango.
Yeah.
With capitals and an exclamation mark.
Any idea what that means?
Well, our sources didn't spell it out, but looking at the context, it feels like a really personal, probably very affectionate nickname.
Yeah.
Something maybe only close family uses.
Right, like an inside thing.
Exactly. It underscores that close, unique bond he has with his mom, even within this larger blended picture.
Okay, so that's the present picture. Unity, affection. But you said this bond was salvaged, restored. That's the part that I think is so relevant for people listening who might be going through, divorce, co-parenting challenges.
Definitely. How do you fix things when a child feels abandoned? That's the
Yeah.
million-dollar question here.
Now we need to rewind way back.
Yeah, almost 3 decades. Will and Sheree got married in '92. Trey was born the same year,
Right?
and they divorced just 3 years later, in 1995. So Trey was what, 2?
Hmm.
Maybe 3. Just a toddler.
Tiny. And that early split, that's where the problem started.
That became the root of the challenge for their relationship. Will himself, years later, I think it was 2018, he spoke about it pretty openly, said they struggled for years after the divorce.
He used the word struggled.
Yeah, emphasized it. Struggled. It wasn't like a temporary bump. It was a prolonged, difficult period.
And we know why now, from Will's own words again, right? He said Trey felt betrayed and abandoned.
Exactly. And think about that from a kid's perspective. Even a 2-year-old who maybe can't articulate it then, that feeling, betrayed and abandoned, that's a heavy, heavy burden. It sticks with you.
It shapes everything. And Will also talked about the divorce itself, didn't he? On Red Table Talk, the weight of it for him.
He did. Very candidly. He called that divorce the ultimate failure for me. Said nothing else, career setbacks, business stuff, none of it compared to the pain of divorcing the mother of his young son.
That's powerful, that feeling of failure as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
How does that impact the father role?
Well, that's the crucial part for the healing, I think. He had to sort of mentally separate the two. The feeling of being a failed husband can really bleed into your ability to co-parent effectively or even just connect with your child without that baggage.
Yeah, I can see that.
He had to get past seeing the divorce purely as his failure to focus on being a dad.
He also mentioned something about how fathers sometimes feel after a split, didn't he? Like losing rights.
Yeah, that was insightful.
Mhm.
He talked about this dynamic where sometimes if a man's not a great husband, then he loses his parental rights. Not legally necessarily, but emotionally in the family dynamic.
Right, and that leads to conflict.
Exactly. Fighting over rights, often with the kids stuck right in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is the worst place for them to be.
So avoiding that, keeping the focus on the child, not the spousal conflict. That's key.
It's paramount. For any kind of healing to happen, you've got to consciously set aside the husband-wife issues and just focus purely on the parent-child relationship. It's hard, but essential.
And it sounds like Will did that work, that self-reflection. He even said, I'm a way better father than I am a husband, acknowledging both sides.
That's self-awareness. Yeah, that's step one.
Yeah.
Knowing your strengths and weaknesses in those different roles.
Yeah.
But step two is maybe even harder.
What's that?
Patience. Real deep patience. Because the sources say the turning point, the real shift, it didn't happen because Will made it happen. He had to wait. He said as soon as Trey was ready, he came looking for his father.
Okay, that's huge. The child had to initiate, or at least be ready for it.
Seems that way. When a child feels abandoned, you can't just force reconciliation. The parent has to, well, earn back that trust.
So was Will actively trying during those years? Or just waiting? What did the sources suggest?
It sounds like a combination, really. Not passive waiting, but consistent presence. Showing up, being reliable, demonstrating emotional thrifty, probably for years.
Right, building a foundation.
Exactly. So that when Trey reached a point, emotionally, where he could process things and felt ready to reconnect, his dad was there, consistently. That takes incredible restraint, not pushing, just being steadily available.
And that steady effort eventually paid off. There was that specific moment, right? The F1 trip?
Yes, Abu Dhabi. Around 2018, that anecdote really seems to capture the culmination of all that work.
What was special about that trip?
Well, Will apparently makes a point of taking his kids on individual trips, separately on stuff so they have their individual daddy time, was the
Oh,
quote.
that's smart. One-on-one time.
Very smart. Especially in a blended family. It fosters those unique bonds. And on that particular F1 trip with Trey,
Yeah.
that's when Trey said something that, well, it moved Will to tears when he recounted it later.
What did he say?
He said, you know what, Dad? I just realized you're not just my dad. I'm pretty sure you're my best friend.
Wow. From betrayed and abandoned to best friend.
Exactly. That's the full circle. That's profound restoration right there. It took maybe 2 decades, give or take, but that moment, it validates the whole approach. Consistency, individual connection, letting the child set the pace.
That's incredible. And you see echoes of that repaired bond elsewhere too, right? Like professionally.
Yeah, that's a good point. Trey has dipped his toes into the entertainment world, following his dad a bit.
How so?
Well, he was in the music video for Just the Two of Us back in '98, which, given the song's theme about fatherhood,
That's significant.
very. And he also appeared in a couple of episodes of the sitcom All of Us in 2003.
So it's not just a personal repair. It's like a functional, supportive relationship across different areas.
Precisely. It suggests the foundation is solid now, healthy enough for collaboration, which says a lot.
Okay, so let's bring it all together then. Back to that birthday photo we started with. What does it really tell us about the co-parenting between Will and Sheree, Trey's primary parents?
I think it confirms they've reached a really evolved, genuinely successful place with it. Probably the best visual for this is actually another photo, one shared earlier this year, back in March.
What did that one show?
It was pretty casual but telling. It showed Will literally napping on an outdoor couch.
Relax.
Totally relaxed.
Yeah.
And he's surrounded by Sheree, his ex-wife, and Jada, his current wife, plus Trey, Jaden, and Willow, all just hanging out together.
Okay, yeah. A dad napping surrounded by his entire blended family, including his ex. That signals a level of comfort and peace that you just don't achieve accidentally.
Not at all. That requires a conscious, ongoing commitment from both Will and Sheree to prioritize the kids' well-being and comfort over any lingering personal stuff. It's about choosing peace.
And we should probably add, just for context, that the family structure itself is still, well, complex, right? Even beyond the Will-Sheree dynamic.
Absolutely. While Will and Sheree nailed the co-parenting integration years ago, we know Will and Jada's situation is also non-traditional now.
Right. Jada revealed last year, October 2023, that they've actually been separated since 2016.
Yeah, living separate lives, though not officially divorced.
Which just adds another layer, doesn't it? It reinforces that family stability, or maybe family functionality, doesn't always look like the old-fashioned model.
Exactly. The success story here, the restored father-son bond, the functional co-parenting between Will and Sheree, that achievement kind of stands on its own, regardless of the current status of Will and Jada's marriage. It shows you can prioritize the kid's needs within all sorts of structures.
It's not just about being civil either, is it? It looks like genuine affection.
That seems to be the goal they reached, and that takes real emotional labor year after year. Will called the restored relationship a wild blessing.
A wild blessing. I like that.
Yeah, to recover and restore. But, that blessing didn't just happen. It was earned through, like we said, years of humility, patience, and conscious effort.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener, from this whole journey?
I think it's that fixing these foundational relationships, especially when there's that kind of early trauma, like feeling abandoned.
Yeah.
It's not a quick project. It's often years long.
Mhm.
And it demands that the parent really internalizes that shift, moving fully from the hurt spouse mindset to the committed parent priority.
Yeah.
That has to be the absolute focus.
It makes you realize that maybe the hardest part of divorce isn't even the split itself.
Quite possibly. It could be the quiet, long-term emotional work needed afterwards, rebuilding trust with a child who's felt let down.
Yeah.
That requires immense maturity.
And being ready, consistently ready, like you said, until the child feels ready to bridge that gap.
Exactly. Standing by, patiently, until they initiate those final steps towards reconciliation.
So here's maybe the final thought to chew on. That birthday photo, it's the finish line, the celebration, but the real story is in the laps run before, those years of quiet repair work.
Now,
If full healing really did hinge on Trey being ready, on him eventually reaching out, what does that tell us about a parent's job? Is it this ongoing, decades-long responsibility to just keep earning that trust, showing up, even when it feels like things should be fixed by now? Is that patient waiting, that readiness? Is that the hardest part of healing, after all?
it really gets to the heart of parental accountability, doesn't it? A powerful question to consider. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.